I'm Dr. Yanni, aka Dr. Ayana Hardaway, and I am the CEO and founder of Wildflowers & Co. Publishing. So I've always been a writer. Ever since I was a little girl, I would spend my time writing journals and writing in diaries that were gifted to me. And I filled the pages in my diaries with stories, development of characters, just talking about the day. I mean, anything that I could think about writing about, I wrote about. Poetry, I mean, so many things. And I also utilized a lot of books as a way to escape. I read books to escape. So writing and reading for me were just really fundamental to my growth and really allowed me to express myself creatively. I was always like the quirky black girl nerd in North Philly. And, I definitely enjoyed just sitting on the steps and reading for hours. And so that lended itself into my educational pursuits. I went to grad school for education and I earned my doctorate in education from Temple University. And currently I'm a critical qualitative researcher, Black feminist researcher. And so my research is really about amplifying the experiences of Black women and Black girls in education. And I also do that through a sociological lens where I'm really looking at systemic injustices and systemic oppression through institutions and how marginalized individuals are implicated by oppression within institutions. And so all of the writing that I do is really to make Black women and girls visible through storytelling. And I'm really excited about this project and this book and this work because with this particular type of trauma and this particular type of moment in time, there hasn't really been a space for people who were victims of the epidemic and second generation survivors of the epidemic to reconcile their emotions, to reconcile their experiences, and to reconcile their beliefs. And so Wildflowers & Co., it combines, speculative art, it combines creative expression, it combines education and history with really allowing us to recreate new stories. And so it was something that was definitely helpful and transformative for me. And I'm hoping that others will feel inspired and empowered and encouraged to start the journey and talking about things that have been traumatic and really painful for them as they navigate their healing journeys. And so I'm really excited about this project. I think for me, what inspired me to start writing was my love for books at a young age. So I am someone who just loves to read. Ever since I was a child, I was exposed to people who read books. My aunts are influential in my life and they read books all the time. So I think just, again, falling in love with stories and falling in love with characters and the ride that it takes you on. And sometimes it's transformative, and it's been transformative for me as a reader. And so I just love the idea of storytelling and this idea of escaping. But writing is also a healing space for me. It's been a way that I could really process thoughts, whether it's a journal, whether it's writing in a diary. So I've always had sort of this outlet and this healing space between my thoughts and a pen and a paper. So it's just always been an affinity of mine to write. I am the author of the book entitled From Crack Mother to Wildflower, Writing to Transgress, the Sankofa Writing Method. So this book is really an intergenerational narrative that explores the pivotal role of Black women-centered networks at the height of the crack cocaine epidemic and genocide, which was biological and chemical warfare waged against minoritized communities, Black and brown communities within the United States between the 1980s and the 1990s. And so what I do in this book, it's a method called critical autoethnography and qualitative research. I'm using my own experiences and I'm reflecting on them so that I can examine them and generate new meaning. And what I ended up doing as a transformative healing practice throughout my research was creating different writing methods and journals that would allow me to express my emotions with traumatic events and to really deconstruct a lot of the beliefs that I held about my mother. And so I created the Sankofa Writing Method, which is a transformative device. I mean, the goal is really to take the reader from a space of feeling shame or resentment or abandonment or guilt to a space of feeling empowered and having agency, and to a space of reclaiming their narrative. And so the Sankofa writing method is a framework that really allows the reader to engage in different meditative practices, different writing prompts that would allow them to really deconstruct their own experiences, to reflect on their own experiences, whether it's with this particular historicized moment in time or a different event. And so the goal is really to help and inspire other people to write. And so I'm really excited for people to engage with the framework. I spend a lot of time in the book amplifying the stories of Black women in my family. And I would have to start with the Queen Mother, Kathleen Tyler, because she was phenomenal. And I think the beauty that's in the story is really tracking how a mother experienced what it was like losing her daughter to this terrible, terrible disease, to this chronic illness and this addiction. And I also talk about my aunts. And, you know, these are women who were other mothers to me and who are other mothers to me. And, you know, what it was like for them just having to like teach me the skills to survive and to teach me how to be strong and teaching me how to think critically and teaching me to have a long memory. You know, I think so much of who I am is a result of deposits of so many different women in my family who really cultivated me to be the critical thinker that I am and to constantly strive to be whatever it is that I could despite what my mother experienced. Another character that I amplified in the story is a neighbor, Miss Tanya, who taught me how to imagine and taught me how to use my radical imagination to see myself doing things that I never thought I could do, like pull stars out of the sky. And so in the book, I wrote a poem called Big Dipper, Little Dipper, where I talk about just how she inspired me and so many of the other Black girls on the block to really imagine and think critically. And so those are some of the women. I'm so fortunate to have been raised by educated and intelligent women who really taught me how to navigate and survive in this world. I think the nature of this book and the nature of this project is talking about our pain and talking about the things that we suppress, talking about the embarrassment, the humiliation, the shame, talking about feeling abandoned, talking about feeling unworthy. I mean, real talk, this book and this project is about curating a safe space to talk about all the things, of all the mess and all the things that we suppress. And so that was really difficult for me because I was doing it in conversation with my psychologist, who was a Black woman, but at the same time, I needed to have strategies of my own that facilitated my writing. And so in the book, I talk about using meditation. I talk about, you know, burning incense and burning sage, lighting candles, and creating a safe space to write that was conducive to me just kind of leaving it all on the page while also healing. And some of those techniques were incredible and definitely valuable for my writing practice. And I also have an ancestor altar. I talk about surrounding myself around, you know, pictures and books and just mementos of the women who came before me, my grandmother, my aunts, just as reminders. And having them here with me is helping me to propel myself forward so that I can continue to write and continue to just press forward, because it's not about me and it's not about what my family experienced. I mean, it's very important, but our story is really the story of millions of other families and what other families have experienced. And so utilizing this story as an amplification of, you know, a dominant narrative is really what this project is about. I really want readers to feel inspired. I want readers to feel empowered. And I want readers to feel okay about letting go and about really deconstructing their own beliefs so that they can heal. It's time for us to remember, recover, and move forward. So please join me. I welcome you to join me on this healing journey.